Whoa! Hello there, Travis. What are we actually seeing starts to get complicated? It was easy. It will start to separate. Are definitely not behind that restricted access grid. They're not. Forget about it.
None of them will be able to be revived.
So please, be reasonable, returning to the orientation we usually the private traditional. A stabby, but I don't think. And those rectangular outcroppings weren't. Here is my Catwoman glove and glove. I should have a floating, impossible anti-gravity blah blah blah. Now, if we were to take snapshots, eventually, how do you transmit a discrete shell?
Well, Ari, we've been tracking this thing for weeks and we still don't know what it is.
The basilisk has its eyes on you. What are you going to do? And at some point, the acceleration is going to get so high that you're going to pass 9.8 meters. Look, I know that neither of those examples were fun. A screaming fish on this side would never be fun, leaving me weightless no matter where I am. What the? We generate our heat endogenously or within our own bodies. I give killer high fives. Is it? Is it? This story is only one of a dozen. Okay, good, because it's rock, paper, scissors. Where are you right now? Bam. Fingerling. That fingerling. Isn't that wild? Fingerling.
What's good coffee? Oh, I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
Times at this point. We can't weaponize the whales until we get the sign-off from SeaWorld. What? Since when? Really? A movie did that. Huh. Well, then where am I gonna get all my grumpy whales from? Well, that's not that's I pay you to make that your problem, so get on it. What? Oh. Yeah, no. Mom, I'm good. Sorry, I thought I was Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm just talking to like 1,000 people or something. Yes, I'm eating. Okay. Yeah, love you. Bye. What's that? No, they don't look like that. Close though. Bye. Hello. Inside of my rapture-like facility, you see before you my friend over in the top left, who I call Gregory. Gregory is a blue whale. And Gregory is watching us right now because Gregory is scared. Why? Because even though this happened a couple years ago and a couple months ago, there's now the first study out in a mammalian journal recording the first ever observed blue whale predation. You'd imagine a creature that is that large, that is that gargantuan, would have nothing to fear, but nay, this is not the case. Today we will go through what is, I think, the largest predation event in the history of Earth. Oh, welcome to Office Hours. Hello. Hello, and welcome to Office Hours, a live component of the facility where good old Professor Kyle opens up his blast doors and allows you, members of the general public, and all of my staff, security team, all my lovely professors, into the chat for the next hour or so, where we take your comments, questions, corrections, comments about my hair and face live. As we do so, we'll be going through a number of topics from the last week in science, engineering, physics, animal stuff that made me go, hey ho wow. Today we'll be talking about killer whales, or whale killers as it turns out, and we'll be taking some of your comments. We'll be looking at some of your comments about the latest episode at the facility, which is my cute little kitty. But, as always, if you really, really, really want me to see something, you can always join the facility at patreon.com/KyleHill, where you get a silky white lab coat, which we are actually sourcing. We are in In the next few months, we will be releasing a lab coat. And you can join the private Discord where you can talk with me every day, give me ideas, help me come up with titles and thumbnails, and get private members-only live streams with me. Not like that. And if you want to show your support for the facility, I gotta fix this light. Eventually. See, that's so annoying. I gotta fix that light. So you can always simp for science by trying Super Chat here on YouTube. We have Eric Nelson with the 5, says, hey, show Kyle the love. Oh, indeed. Chibi Hugs with the 10 says, hey, Kyle, thanks for the sciencey goodness. This teacher thanks you for your service. Bring on the menace of the sea panda. We'll get to the menace that is... Well, they're not really a menace, but we'll get to it. Tactical Taco. Ugh, this one's filled with carne asada. Tactical Taco with a 20 says, if you could be any level 20 D&D class in real life, what would it be and why is it a wizard? I might be like a lizard who sells gems. Is that a class? And as usual, we have Liz Calvert with the 50. Hey, Science Kyle. Question from my tiny human Alex. Alex, I hope schooling is going well. Look forward to your questions every single stream, buddy. Alex wants to know why the clones in your facility are named Kevin, even though clone starts with a C and not a K. Well, the first Kevin who popped out of their tube, I was talking about temperature and how hot the tube should be to one of my other Kevins, and I said, 373 Kelvin would be a bad temperature because they'd be boiling in there, and then the clone popped out and it was like, Kevin. And I just thought that was cute. So they're all Kevins now. That's canon. Benjamin with the $9.99. Hey, Kyle, I've been thinking of my time in aviation. I was wondering if Halon 1301 would be effective in fighting forest fires with proper evacuation, and if it could work to save lives and lots of money, maybe. I don't even know what that is. But usually, these days, we err on the side of less environmentally damaging chemicals. Captain Wrecked with the 5. Did they actually kill it or just scavenging a carcass? Predation versus opportunism? I'm honestly curious. Love the channel because, Kyle. Look. I've scienced every superhero and power that I've cared to. Now it is time to talk about the very real world superheroes. Or are they supervillains? Orcas. Shmia's Clans with the 5 says, here's a sim for helping me with that dragon question on Twitter a few weeks back. May have to watch later. That's fine. You asked me for your D&D group, if I'm remembering correctly, how much meat could they harvest from Tyrannosaurus or a dragon-sized creature. I said that your D&D group probably wants to go with the body mass of something like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, as it's the right size for a dragon. It's kind of dragonian, rather. Anyway, and based on how much of a T-Rex's total mass is muscle, which is a third or a half. I looked up some studies from my friend John Hutchinson, who is a biomechanist who studies Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yes, I know, I have cool friends. And I got you, basically a small car's worth of meat off of that T-Rex bones. You're welcome. Hey, Kyle, show the love, this is Anthony with the 5. Did the orcas drown the whale with infinite elbow drops? The orca. Let's pause the super chats for a second so we can get on to today's main topic. Are orcas related to the hippo? Says Pablo. I don't know. Everything's related to something. Everything's related to everything if you go back far enough. Anyway. Why don't you know phylogeny off the top of your head? Because there's already too much hair on the top of my head. Can't fit everything. Orcas. Killer whales. Free Willy. Because of Free Willy, because of their panda-ish appearance, because of their apparently playful nature, I think, not me, but I think most of the general public, and maybe not you ocean nerds, I see you. I think most of the general public sees the killer whale as playful, and harmless. And wouldn't not like a shark that has the opposite reputation, right? But with this news story today, and if I had to put together a list, chat, I want you to put together your own list. What is the scariest thing in the ocean? Not like the scariest looking thing, because, you know, that's probably like a colossal squid or something. But what's the most dangerous thing in the ocean? What would you be most afraid of seeing? Like, what would be your oh crap moment? Chat. What's your like number 3? Not Cthulhu. He's not down there. Jellyfish. The scariest thing is the uncertainty. Stonefish, shark, water, your mom. Great. I'm glad that I did that. Sperm whales, box jelly, plastic, the water, man-o-war, sharks, poop, dolphins, blue-ringed octopus. I'm going to stop reading now. For me, it's these 3 specifically. Leopard seal, great white shark, orcas. Now, I think orcas being at the top of my oh crap list would be confusing to the general public. But the more that we study killer whales, the more that we observe them, we find that they are, without a doubt, the ocean's apex predator. They are the largest apex predator on Earth, I believe. The largest, like, carnivorous, not filter feeding predator, like some larger whales. They have teeth. They get up to 30 feet long. The females do. They are, the more that we look at them, we see that they deserve the respect that we give to, like, a great white shark. Why? The more that we look at them and observe what they actually do in the wild, orca are incredibly intelligent. They call them the wolves of the sea, but I'd be more afraid of these 30-foot-long monsters than any wolf. Why? Well, we've seen them eviscerating dolphins. I've seen one fling a seal 80 to 100 feet into the air just because it could. Orcas have been seen orchestrating... Shut up, it was good. Orcas have been seen orchestrating the removal of great white shark livers for the liver's nutritional content. These things punch great white sharks in the gut until their liver pops out, and then they eat it. Okay? Now, I knew all that, but what I didn't know is that the largest creature to ever live, the blue whale, I thought it had no natural predators. And now we know that's not the case. In fact, it seems very likely that they have a frequent natural predator in the form of the killer whale, or should we call it the whale killer. How can they accomplish such a feat? These are 30 feet long. They're enormous animals with giant teeth. They're very intelligent. They work together. You can picture it. But how do they actually pull it off? Because blue whales are 75 feet long, twice as long. Blue whales are the most massive creature to ever exist on this planet, thanks to buoyancy. 100 tons. I think the largest blue whale ever recorded is 196 tons. 196,000 kilogramo. That's unbelievable. But how do they manage this? Well, in 2017, it goes back, we have drone footage off the coast of California showing orcas harassing smaller blue whales, pygmy blue whales, young adults, and calves, the babies. Even the baby blue whales are bigger than the orcas. But until recently, until 2 years ago or so, we had never had a confirmed kill, a predation event, as I'm saying it. So I'm going to show some photos. Don't worry, they're not gory. There's a little bit of red in the ocean. Okay. So now we have photographic and videographic evidence of killer whales harassing, murdering, and eating a blue whale. How do they accomplish this? Well, again, goes back to why I'm so terrified of them. These whales coordinate with each other to bring down prey many, many, many times their size. In these predation events, what has been witnessed is around five of these orcas at once doing a clever, it's a clever tactic. So if they just tried to bite this blue whale to death, it wouldn't work. There's too much blubber. The blue whales are massive. They have massive flukes. They can outswim orcas over a long enough distance. So how do they bring them down? Well, what the orcas do is they start biting and latching themselves onto the fins of the blue whale. They've even bitten some of the fins off. They attach themselves like those chains in Mad Max Fury Road when they shoot them into the back of the thing and they drag it. Anyway, the orcas are adding weight and drag to the blue whale so it slows down and starts getting tired and tired and tired. Not only that, as some orcas are slowing it down by holding onto its fins, other orcas are going near the head and on top of the blue whale and forcing it underwater and hitting it in the head. Why? Because they're drowning it. They know they could never overtake the whale in a just trying to bite this kind of simplistic tactic. So instead, they drown these leviathans with coordinated tactics. You can see here just how much work they put in to trying to stop these large animals. That area in white behind the orca is water splash, but in front of the orca, that is the bites. Those are the bite marks going down into the blubber of the blue whale. They'd even recorded seeing some of the blue, as the blue whale tries to escape, they've bitten down far enough into the bone. Far enough to see the bone. And maybe let's check this for a second. So here's a little bit of footage of this actually happening. Can anything kill a hippopotamus, says Brendan Wood? Yes, an orca. So what tipped the researchers off here is seeing all these birds, and they saw this calamity, commotion on the surface with birds, blood, and bubbles. So they went to observe, and they saw 5 orcas harassing this great animal, trying to drown it, biting it until it slowed down enough, got tired enough to drown. It's kind of horrific. I know. But I wanted to look at them coordinated like that. But I wanted to show it. Heather says, nope, I don't like that. Well, you're not going to like the next thing I show you. I wanted to show you all this because I had no idea that the blue whale, the largest creature to ever live, had any predators. And here's the kicker. Not only do these killer whales know that they can't win in a fair fight, that they have to slow it down and drown it, they also know that just taking bites out of the flank of this animal isn't going to provide the protein and the nutrition that an entire pod of orcas would need. all the time. So what do? Well, a weird thing happens. A weird thing happens when whales drown, apparently. When a blue whale drowns, and right before, as it's starting to drown, right before it dies, its mouth will start to hang open. I don't know why. That's what the researchers said. So what do the orcas do in response? When this happens, in a very purposeful way, the orcas will swim inside the mouth of the blue whale to get at its tongue. Because the tongue is pure muscle, pure protein, and so instead of just taking all the bites of the blubber on the outside, which is pure fat, they go for what's nutritious to them. Like squeezing livers out of great white sharks, they will eat the car-sized tongue of a blue whale. So let's remove that. So I think you kind of get a sense of why these are at the top of my list. And this isn't even, accounting for all the other scary stuff they do when they're hunting seals and stuff. I'm sure if you've seen Planet Earth or Blue Planet or whatever, which one it was, when they were coordinating to swim underneath an ice floe to knock a seal off of it with their wave. Think about how intelligent an animal has to be to know how to manipulate the medium in which it lives. That's like us using air to catch food. Cool, right? No ocean for me, says Jared Robinson. Yes, so like I said at the beginning, the first recorded time orcas have killed and eaten an adult blue whale, which means that recently we have now categorized and cataloged, since blue whales are the largest creature ever, larger than any dinosaur, this is the largest predation event, predator-prey interaction in human history. Not just human history, in the history of the planet. In the history of Earth. Marine ecologist Robert Pittman told National Geographic, quote, "This is the biggest predation event on this planet, the biggest apex predator taking down the biggest prey. We don't have dinosaurs anymore, so for me as a whale biologist and a zoologist, this is an amazing thing." Stay away from me. Emma Rost with the 20 says, "I may be wrong, but it seems like the whites of the eyes is entirely unique to humans. Is there a reason for this, or is it an evolutionary advantage?" Fantastic question, Emma Rost. What do the whites of eyes allow you to observe in others? You know that primates, such as we, are highly social animals, right? So living in groups and being social, having environmental pressures, evolutionary pressures that depend on the sociality of our species. Having a theory of mind, being able to envision the thoughts of others and explore the intents of others, or get an idea of what someone else is thinking. What do the whites of someone's eyes allow you to do? The whites of your eyes allow you to exactly see where another creature such as me is looking. It allows me to be a lot more expressive. looking up, looking down, looking away. It's an immediate biological cue for maybe what I'm thinking or intending. Wow, I can see that you're staring really hard at my food over there. Are you going to take it? It is theorized, I believe, I really hope I'm not talking out of my ass right now. It is theorized that the whites of your eyes plays into the social nature of primates by being another indicator of what one might be thinking or feeling. And it might be a way to tell if someone's sick or not by looking at the whites of their eyes. But I'm also correct. You right, Kyle, says Michael Skinner. I know. John Lockman with the 20 says, do you think that overfishing is driving orcas to expand their prey selection? I would... It doesn't seem... Well, I don't know. I'm not a whale biologist, but... If the prey population was declining to the point where killer whales were getting desperate, that's quite a task of desperation. I imagine they'd go for something easier, but I have no idea. I have no idea. That's like, well, yeah. I mean, could it be like starving lions trying to take down a giraffe? Because, you know, they could get easily murdered by their hooves, but they tried anyway because they're hungry. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to say anything incorrect. But it's also the kind of interaction that could have been happening for a million years, and we've never observed it until recently because, and citation needed, the ocean is big, and we're not on it. Oolzeal with the 10 says, hey Kyle, love the show. Woo! Have you heard about people demolishing a paleontology site in Utah? The best I can do is raise awareness. No, I have not. But, yeah. Demolishing any historical site for, you know, anything other than a legitimate reason is always a tragedy. Captain Wrecked with the $2 says, Quint in Jaws called his boat the Orca for a reason. Oh! Oh. Ulu, thank you for clarifying. That's why I do not want to. Yeah, it's the Bureau of Land Management. Yeah, it's like, I don't want to get anywhere near that right now. We're talking science stuff. Orcas are some evil animals. If they had technology, they would take us out in a heartbeat, says Wesley Z. I don't think they're evil. Animals aren't evil, they're animals, right? Evil is a hard thing to quantify. Then you have to give the whales some sort of ethic. They'd have to know, well, in your eyes it's evil, but do whales have ethics? That's the name of my next PowerPoint. Frogs! Hey Kyle, random question, but do you ever watch Stephen Wolfram's streams? No, I haven't, but I know Stephen, they have so few viewers and it hurts my head 9 times out of 10, but oh my god, science in action. I haven't watched Stephen Wolfram streams, but I use Wolfram Alpha almost every day, and I know that guy is legitimately, like, actually a genius. So maybe I'll check it out if I see it. I have not seen it before. Yeah. Evil is intent. Yeah, no, if you're talking about animals that are kind of, like, more on the being real a-holes side of things, I mean, there's stuff that hippos do and stuff that dolphins do that are pretty rough. And otters. We don't have to talk about it. Emperor Sagahoto says, is it safe to say that the Uncanny Valley effect is because of humanity's competition with other human-like species over time, Neanderthals and such? I would guess that the Uncanny Valley is less to do with some evolved competition sense rather, we don't have to invoke something crazy. Could the Uncanny Valley be explained by our, like looking at the whites of another creature's eyes to judge intent and purpose? Our brains are tuned to faces, to human faces. Well, to faces that look like this, eyes, nose, amazing beard. We see faces everywhere. It's so important for us as social creatures to see someone else's face that our brain regularly mistakes just random objects for a face. It's called pareidolia. And so we are so good at recognizing faces that when something is close enough to human looking that it passes for a second, but something's off about it, I imagine that dissonance of recognizing a face but it's not really like a human face, but it's close. I'd imagine that causes some cognitive discomfort, right? It's like an optical illusion where it's uncomfortable, where I can show you a picture and I say, oh, all these lines are parallel, and you're like, what? No. Nekomata with the 19. I followed your content for years, and I just want to say I appreciate the time you helped me waste when I felt down over the years. Neko, get in the facility, get in here. Let's get hyped up. It's not wasted time if you're learning something, my man. Dead Card with the 5. Sam Hain with the 10 says, hey Kyle, thanks for being on the internet. What's your thoughts on giant fighting robots like the one in Real Steel? Is this something we could see in our lifetime? The issue with giant fighting robots, if you want them to move like Real Steel or Pacific Rim or Voltron or the Mechazord from Power Rangers, the real problem is if something is giant and metal, it's going to be extremely heavy, which means you need a lot of power, a lot of actual power, giant motors to move these things. And if you want these things to move quickly, that increases the power consumption, increases the size of the motors that you need. They are hard to miniaturize. You need a crap load of energy in one place, like a nuclear reactor's worth of output. And basically what I'm saying is, with today's technology, you could probably build a fighting robot that was, like, slow. Because also, if this thing isn't made out of the best technology, we don't even have the technology that would be required to keep a robot from punching like a 747 on a landing strip from ripping its own arm off from the forces. I don't think we have the power sources, the miniaturized and ultra strong motors, or the material to keep a giant robot from literally ripping itself apart. Even our rockets today, that like SpaceX rockets, Saturn V rockets, these things are pretty close to ripping themselves apart already. So imagine trying to have like an elbow rocket on a Pacific Rim robot, but it's punching a building. You know? They'd probably be very, very slow. Orcas have never attacked any human in the wild on record, but in captivity, yes, they have. But if I was in a cell only 2 times my size, I would probably do the same. Look, the Blackfish stuff and the SeaWorld stuff, you don't really blame these animals for kind of acting out, right? Which is weird to not blame a creature, right? They're just a creature. That's why I don't blame stingrays, you know? It's just a stingray. It stings you. That's what happens. Yeah, you feel for the things. There's even a weirder case where great white sharks have never survived in captivity ever. They just start to like immediately die when you put them in captivity. So weird. It must be something about having a large range and a large range of movement, and I don't know. It's just not easy to keep them in captivity. I just watched a video on the evolution of the Uncanny Valley, and I can't remember who produced it. I think it was PBS Eons. It's been an eon since we got to our next topic, so why don't we go there now? Peer review. So, as I'm wont to do on every episode of Office Hours, I like to check out some of the comments and questions that made me go, hey, oh, wow there, howdy doody. I don't know what I was doing. On the last episode of the facility, which happens to be one of the worst performing episodes of the facility since I came back into my administrator role. So please, if you haven't watched the latest video featuring my adorable kitten, go watch it right now, or else you're fired. Anyway, the last episode of the facility, I looked into the biology of cat tongues that I don't think most people actually know. So like a previous video when I was talking about the biology of cat claws, I was looking at my cat, the distinguished Lady 3 Jane Marie France Tessier Ashpool, and I was looking at her tongue while she was grooming herself, and I decided to look further into the shape and the form and function of the tongue. If you want to know why cats' tongues are not just sandpaper, why they're incredibly evolved grooming appendages in actuality, please go watch the latest episode of the facility. But on that latest episode, y'all had stuff to say. I'd like to award someone an honorary membership of the facility, and then you get a plaque from Kevin. Wait. You gotta stop sneaking up on me like that, man. I'm gonna karate chop you. Clone Trooper 555 says, I like that you added that bit about not declawing cats. Yes. Part of the biology of cat claws, a previous video I did about my kitten, it's not like a fingernail. The cat's claw is actually a part of this first digit. It grows out of the bone. Humans have a nail bed from which the cellular matrix extrudes itself. Like one of those Play-Doh toys. Doesn't happen with cats. The cat's nail grows right off the bone. So to prevent the cat's claws from growing, you have to remove this digit. It is technically an amputation. It's a major surgery. So when you declaw a cat, it is as if you are cutting off part of their fingers, all of them. It's kind of barbaric, and it's lazy, in my opinion. And it's unethical, so don't do it. You could almost say, Zacky Daddy says, you can almost say their tongue is covered in mini claws. Can't believe it took that long for a biologist, especially ones who study cats, to look at their tongues under a microscope. Liquid Flames, I recognize from the chat, from the facility. Well, I guess until that brush they made is on the market, I'm going to have to figure out how to get my cat to brush my hair with its tongue. Wait a second. Is that how Kyle's hair gets so luxurious? No, you can't prove that. I don't slather bacon grease on my hair to get my cats to lick it. That would be bad. What else? MG McHenry says, I've liked Kyle for a long time, but nothing has made me love him as much as seeing him in full cat dad mode and hearing him stand up for cats, claws, and adoption. MG McHenry. I am a full cat dad, for sure. I think the most cats I've ever had at one time was 3. And 2 of them I had since 4th grade. They lived to be 20 years old, 2 sisters. And then they passed, and we had one cat who we didn't want to be lonely. So we got her a kitten lady. And she's almost a year and a half old. I watched this video with my cat by my side. He just stared at your graphs, but then he pounced on my phone when he saw Lady or other cats. How dare you? But because I don't ever want to see this hashtag, the Wolf Howling says, just when you thought that Kyle couldn't get any cuter, he reveals himself as a cat daddy. Please do not say hashtag cat daddy to me in the chat. That would be, and use emojis, that would be ridiculous. And to show that I don't want you to do that, the wolf howling, I'm giving you the honor of becoming an honorary member of the facility because I hate your comments so much. Fantastic. Fantastic. Congratulations. Kevin is now going to get you a plaque. No, that's... He's not even there. I've run out of things to even not grab. I told you not to. Ugh. I don't want to be hashtag cat daddy. You think cats, you think the cats kind of look at a beard and they're like, hey, you're kind of like a cat. Put the hair down. Hey, you're kind of cat-like. Oh, so, before we get to some of your more comments and questions, what's coming up at the facility? I know many of you have been asking me many weeks. It's because I've been late. I know. But I don't know exactly when it's going to come out, but within the next 2 weeks or so, or a week and a half, or week, hopefully, the next episode at the facility is going to be part 2 of my Chernobyl excursion. This time, we will be spending time inside of Pripyat, the city, the Atomgrad, that was built next to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant that was evacuated when the disaster happened. I will show you inside the buildings, the streets, the stadiums that you can no longer see because it's been overgrown with trees, the hot sites, the famous Ferris wheel. All of that, I will be bringing you to Pripyat very soon. It is what my Kevins are working on right now, and we're working right now. I'm getting designs back for our second merchandise drop, which I'm very excited about. And side note, I know many of you are Magic the Gathering nerds like me. You like seeing me play degenerate card games. So I can tell you that tonight I'm recording a few episodes of I Hate Your Deck that will be appearing on their YouTube channel, the fastest growing Magic the Gathering YouTube channel on YouTube. I will be bringing my degeneracy against a guy, a Hall of Famer Magic the Gathering player who has the audacity to think that he has better hair than me. Well, guess what? Reality check time. Reality check. Anyway, Robert Nihan says, with a 20, there are cat-friendly glue-on nails that stop them from scratching stuff, and it isn't painful, like declawing them. Yeah, there's little tips. You like that. Gabriel Larson, recognize you from the Escape from Tarkov streams. Oh, yeah, also, if you want to see me get really frustrated at one of the hardest games out there right now, you can go to the Kyle Hill Gaming channel on this channel. You'll see a link somewhere. It's in the description. If you want to see me play Escape from Tarkov and get really frustrated, you can check out the gaming channel now. 2 streams, 6 hours worth of Escape from Tarkov. Of course, I get so frustrated. I slam the desk. I slam my desk so hard, I broke one of my lights. And then right after the stream stopped, I had one of the best raids I've ever had in that game. So, you know, that's fair. Gabriel with the 10 says, hey, hashtag cat daddy. Stop it. Thanks for being awesome and teaching us all stuff. Us all any cool things over the years. When you say over the years, it makes me feel like I'm old now. Am I? I mean, I'm not, like, chronologically, I'm not old, but I guess I've been doing this for a long time, huh? Started, Because Science in the October of 2014? Jeez. Hey, who said that? Where? Sorry, I'm trying to find one. I'm scrolling. Hyped for more Chernobyl content, says Jacob Peterson. Thank you for telling the real story in such detail. That is the goal. The goal is to demystify Chernobyl and make it, let you see it the way I saw it, how it actually is there. No clickbait, no. I mean, if you type in Chernobyl on YouTube or like tour or like, you know, whatever, or Pripyat even on YouTube, you'll see a bunch of thumbnails of a bunch of idiots who are just like, I spent the night in the world's most dangerous city. Yeah. First of all, not true. And second of all, shut up. I don't want to do anything like that. I want to represent it as it actually is, with reverence and appreciation for the history, for the people that lost their lives, all of that. So, with Pripyat, you will see it's not, well, isn't that crazy? What's it? Is that a baby? Is that a doll over there with a baby head? That's creepy. No, it's none of that. It's none of that. Can you do a video on how Geiger counters work? Says Jacob. I don't know. None of my videos do well anymore, so I don't know if that one would do super well. Hey show, love the Kyle, says the Harbo. Is there any biological traits that evolution doesn't select for on Earth that you hope to see in extraterrestrial life? Interesting. Any traits that we haven't seen evolve that you'd want to see evolve on other planets in other conditions? You pronounced my name right, says Robert Nyhan. Thank you for being awesome. Whew! If there's one thing I can do, it's words. Traits. What would I like to see? Okay, this is the first thing that came to my head. I would like, or it would be interesting to have a creature whose site of consciousness or locus of consciousness, where it is, isn't behind their eyes. Now, it's difficult. You know, like, you're saying evolutionary pressure, right? It makes sense to have most of your sensing, your major sensing stuff, as close to the stuff that processes the information as possible, right? It would think of how long your optic nerves would have to be if your brain was in your feet. And having more tissue, more material, more complicated biology, that's not what evolution tends to do, but it would be interesting if, you know, there was a creature with eyes and a mouth, something like ours, but the consciousness wasn't, the brain was somewhere else, or the consciousness thing was somewhere else. I think it would, if they were intelligent, it would be interesting to see how their philosophy, how their sense of self was different if they didn't so this is what I'm getting at. You feel, talking to you, you feel like you are behind your eyes. You feel like your essence, your thing, your stuff, your you is right here. You don't feel like you're in your thigh. And when I say you don't feel like you're in your, all of this is you. You can't separate it, you know, but you feel like the thing that does the thinking is here. And it is. But what if that was different? So what if your brain was in the center of your chest or whatever, and you felt like you were here? You felt like you were somewhere else in a body plan. Sounds like a good sci-fi idea. Aaron Yu getting nuked from orbit because he's a real little dummy. Thinking with your belly, literally. Alakazam, as a Pokemon, has his brain in his shoulder pads. What? Why didn't anyone tell me that? Alakazam, maybe my favorite Pokemon? I think. Kadabra, Abra, the whole lineage of Abra, I love. How did I not know his brains are in his shoulder pads? That's dumb. Well, when you say shoulder pads, it sounds like a piece of clothing. His brain is in his shoulders. The octopus has distributed intelligence such that parts of its thinking stuff is in its arms. Each one. Isn't that weird? Game Over Jesse, who has a check mark, says, "Will you marry me?" Jesse, I told you didn't want to ask. You didn't. I told you not to ask me in public, Jesse. Let's talk about this when you get home, yeah? Okay. Nintendo don't. Nice. How many horsepower can a nuclear reactor create? Um, like 40,000? The peak power output of the reactor in a Los Angeles-class nuclear submarine can create the equivalent of 41,000 horsepower. Whew! That'll kick you in your butt, huh? Cuckoo! I'm sorry, Kyle. It's out there. Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. Apollo Centerist with the 5 says, "I'm sorry, Kyle. It's out there now. Even Philip DeFranco had to accept his status as #NewsDaddy. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." People call Philip DeFranco News Daddy. Ugh. Isn't he more like Gossip Daddy? Think of the power. Oh, Icky says in Major Clarkson voice, "Power." What you're looking at is the most powerful engine in the world. Oh yeah, Jesse. But besides, I'm already kind of taken, and you don't want to mess with her. She's I think she can kick my ass at this point, to be honest. Static Ethan says, "I don't get NFTs." Everyone hates NFTs at the moment. But I believe that the technology itself is interesting. If you put aside the possible or likely environmental impacts of using proof of work blockchain technology. Put that aside for a second. The blockchain and NFTs are an interesting technology in a vacuum. How people are using them and presenting them to an audience or potential buyers, I think, is what is riling people up. All that's to say, there will probably be someone who figures out a good way to do it that people like, because the technology itself is interesting. Just because people don't like how people are using it doesn't mean it's always going to be terrible or bad or a scam. I think it's possible for someone to do it, so it's not that, but I haven't seen those yet. Michael Skinner says, digital can be copied. Well, yeah, but that's not the... It's... You could buy the Mona Lisa, and someone could come to your house and take a photo of it. It's the same thing. The disconnect for me, and I think for most people, is that we don't tend to value the digital the same as the physical. You'd rather own the Mona Lisa than own the Mona Lisa if it was only a digital print, right? You'd rather have a physical thing. And so people aren't understanding or valuing how people can put serious value on a digital thing. But maybe that's a generational thing. Maybe that's a perspective thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm not... Maybe I'm just... The next generation will probably view the digital as almost more real than the physical, right? So, I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, I like I said, I don't want to rile everyone up here, but I think the technology itself could be used for something cool. Right? I don't think there's anything stopping it inherently from being used in an interesting way. Like, for example, Sam Harris and his community of people who took this pledge of effective altruism. He and a group of people who believe in this have vowed to give 10% of their lifetime earnings to the most effective charities, period. He was thinking about minting NFTs for people who took this pledge, and then you're able to use that NFT and the fact that you can prove it is yours with digital ownership, using that to get these people who take the pledge different perks and benefits in certain places. Like being able to attend an event or get a ticket or get a discount at this corporation or that corporation. Having it as a badge, as a signifier that you can prove you own, that represents something you have done in the world. I see that. I see the makings of an interesting thing in that, right? It's not all monkeys. See, bored apes or whatever they're called. See, that's the part that I don't get, and I think that's the part that a lot of people don't like, because it's trading. Well, so for example, like the Kings of Leon, a band, they had some NFTs that were like unique tracks or little behind the scenes things that only one person would have, and they could prove that they own it, and it's just for them. Cool. You can buy that thing. It's a digital thing you own. You're the only person that has it. Cool. That's interesting. The problem is that to scale that up, there's no way a band or an artist or a digital artist could make a unique thing for every single person that wanted to buy it. It doesn't scale. It's too much work. So what Bored Apes and CryptoPunks have done is randomly generated art to create the supply to meet the demand. And I think that's where my disconnect happens, because you are removing the uniqueness of it. Right? And they look like shit. All those Bored Apes are so dumb looking. I don't get it. Again, it would be different if it was an artist that you love creating something unique and singular that you could then own. You could show it off to other people, but it's not something you could put up against 10,000 others and be like, oh, I forget which one's mine. You know? Anyway. Is there any more sciencey stuff before we end today's stream? Hit me up, of course, if you want to continue on this conversation after we're live. Go back to the channel, hit up the comments, or join the facility today at patreon.com/Kyle Hill. We're not selling NFTs. But we do have a Discord, and you can join. You can talk with me every day. You can give me episode ideas. You can create GIFs of my face, and I will use them as reaction emojis across the internet. I love it. We just had our private members only live stream last night, where I opened packages from you and a number of other things. I gave, hey, join the facility. Last night I gave all of my members sneak peek at Pripyat. I went through raw footage straight off of my facility hard drives, showed you raw drone footage from Pripyat, and Koopa and Heather and Bucket, you know, in the chat, you saw it. It's beautiful. Ulmaruru says, how hyped are you for doing a Scientist Plays Horizon Forbidden West? I'll end with that. So the next thing that we're going to do after Pripyat, I am going to film this week a quick Horizon Zero Dawn / Forbidden West episode, because I'm ultra hyped for that game. I don't know if I'm going to stream it. If I do stream it, it'll be after I play it myself, because I'm not a streamer. That's not my main source of doing stuff. So I don't feel compelled to stream it day one. For amazing single-player games, I like to experience them as a single player and just take it in without having to talk to people and stuff like that. So I'd probably play through it myself first before I play through it for you, but we will be doing a science episode about it. Inquisitor says the stream last night was dope AF. Indeed. Thank you all for being here. What did we do today? We talked about I forgot I could do that. We talked about orcas. Why orcas are the true apex predator on this planet. Beaches over there. Apex predator on this planet, now being known to eat blue whales, the largest creature to ever exist. We also took some of your comments on my latest worst performing video at the facility. Please go watch it. Even ironically, I don't care. Look at my cute cats. I hope everyone has had a fantastic beginning to their week. This week, maybe towards the end or early next week, we'll have our next Chernobyl episode, and then maybe at the end of this week we'll play some more Tarkov with all of you. I do enjoy it, despite how many desks I almost come close to breaking. Tonight I'm filming more episodes of I Hate Your Deck. Stay tuned for magic domination from your boy here. But most importantly, stay safe, stay smart, and until I see you next time, wherever that is, be nice to each other. Because this is all we got. Okay, thanks for watching.